Excuse me 1 minute, I thought I'd mention a few things about the white wine they've been served. First of all, I thought it'd be quite refreshing to have a white wine after a flight of reds, before we get back to reds. This is our Fume Blanc Reserve, and this is a white wine that I often serve after red wines, because for a white wine to come after, especially a flight of pretty complex and satisfying reds like that, you have to have a pretty complex white wine, but also a white wine that I like it for its balance between texture and freshness. And so this is, as you know, Fume Blanc is another name for Sauvignon Blanc, another name that was in fact invented by Rob Mondavi. So it has a close attachment to the Rob Mondavi winery, the Rob Mondavi story. And of course, the reason for inventing the name is that in the 50s and 60s, Sauvignon Blanc was almost always made into a sweet wine and was usually considered a fairly low quality wine. And Mr. Mondavi wanted to make a dry, high quality style of wine. So basically borrowed the name from the Loire Valley, from Fume, where they call it Blanc Fume, inverted that to become a Fume Blanc, and was never copyrighted or trademarked or stylistically designated, but he had it registered with the government as a legal synonym, an alternative name for Sauvignon Blanc grape. So in California, it's just a legal alternative name. For many years, the label said Fume Blanc, and in small letters underneath, dry Sauvignon Blanc wine. Now our reserve that we have tonight is, as with the Cabernet, the best fruit from the best parts of the best vineyards, and it just happens that our best Sauvignon Blanc is always on the Tocolon vineyard, the vineyard I mentioned earlier, right behind Rob Mondavi Winery. We have some very old vines there. We actually have a block of vines planted in 1945.
Wow.
Probably the oldest Sauvignon Blanc in North America. Not much of that gets into this anymore, unfortunately. We bottle about 200 cases, which is sold only at the winery. The reserve has a little bit of that, but there's also another block planted in the early 1950s. It's a really pretty old Sauvignon Blanc. And as you know, as the vines get older, you get less fruit, but more concentration. And so the combination of these old vines, a fantastic vineyard, which as you saw, can produce really high-quality, world-class red wine. So it's pretty unusual to put Sauvignon Blanc on a vineyard that can produce world-class Cabernet Sauvignon. But again, I think that gives it wonderful richness and concentration. But another great thing about the vineyard is, as in the Cabernets, the Sauvignon Blanc, like Cabernet Sauvignon, holds its acidity really well on Tocolon. And so you get this wonderful texture, beautiful complexity from the old vines, but still this wonderful, fresh, crisp acidity. So I hope you'll enjoy it. It's one of my favorite wines we make, so I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I do. Cheers.
Cheers.